Hello and welcome to Raju Notes channel, your pit stop for weekly current affairs updates. The updates tailor-made for students taking all kinds of competitive exams like UPSC, civils, defense and placement interviews. Please subscribe to the channel and stay updated every Sunday. Today, Parivartan Chintan 2 for jointness and integration of armed forces concluded in New Delhi last week. Chairing the conference, Chief of Defence Staff General Anil Chauhan emphasized the need for expediting the progress of the initiatives as these were to pave the way to theaterization and hence creation of a multi-domain response-capable Indian Armed Forces. The event was attended by the officers from the three services headquarters, Department of Military Affairs, Headquarters Integrated Defence Staff, and members of various subcommittees of the Chiefs of Staff Committee COSC mandated to oversee the initiatives undertaken and to generate novel ideas to give impetus to the ongoing process of theaterization. Various COSC subcommittees gave an update on the progress of the initiative considered imperative for jointness and integration. India voted in favor of a draft United Nations General Assembly resolution supporting Palestine's bid to become a full UN member. The 193-member General Assembly met last week for an emergency special session where the Arab Group resolution in support of State of Palestine's full membership in the United Nations was presented by the United Arab Emirates. The resolution said Palestine is qualified and should be admitted as a full member of the United Nations and recommended that the Security Council reconsider the matter favorably. The resolution got 143 votes in favor, 9 against and 25 abstentions. Currently, Palestine is a non-member observer state at the United Nations. The status was granted to Palestine by the General Assembly in 2012. India was the first non-Arab state to recognize the Palestine Liberation Organization as the sole and legitimate representative of the Palestinian people in 1974. India was also one of the first countries to recognize the state of Palestine in 1988 and in 1996. The Inter-Services Organizations like Command and Control and Discipline Act has been notified last week. The bill was passed by both houses of parliament during the monsoon session last year in order to bolster effective command, control and efficient functioning of inter-services organizations, Defense Ministry said. The Act empowers commanders-in-chief and the officers in command of inter-services organizations to exercise general control over service personnel for effective maintenance of discipline and administration without disturbing the unique service conditions of each individual service. The Act will empower the heads of inter-services organization and pave the way for expeditious disposal of cases, avoid multiple proceedings. The ministry said it will be a step towards a greater integration and jointness among the armed forces personnel. ISRO achieves milestone with 3D printed rocket engine test. The Indian Space Research Organization ISRO successfully tested the new liquid rocket engine manufactured through additive manufacturing technology. The test was successfully carried out on May 9th at ISRO Propulsion Complex in Mahendragiri in Tamil Nadu. This new redesigned PS4 engine has brought down the number of parts from 14 to a single piece and eliminated 19 weld joints. This will significantly save the raw material usage per engine, reduce metal powder from 565 kg to 13.7 kg and reduce the production time by 60%. Additive manufacturing technology means 3D printing of a PS4 engines. This will usher in a new era of advanced 3D manufacturing techniques of India's space program. Lakshadweep introduces high-speed ferry to boost ecotourism. In order to boost ecotourism, educational tourism, health tourism and leisure tourism in Western Ghats region, Lakshadweep is launching a fast and easy ferry service. The ferry will cut travel time between Lakshadweep and Mangaluru from over 13 hours to less than 7 hours. The 36 islands that make up the archipelago are dispersed over 32 square kilometers. Why is Argentina printing 10,000 pesos note for the first time? Argentina is printing 10,000 pesos note equivalent to nearly 950 for the first time. It will allow people to carry around fewer notes as they are often required to carry huge bags of cash for simple transaction and retailers prefer cash payments. Argentina is currently facing an economic crisis with an annual inflation rate of 287%, the highest in the world. Egypt has issued a stern warning to Israel threatening to nullify the historic Camp David Accords if Israel proceeded with its invasion of Rafah, as reported by Israeli media. This threat comes amid escalating tensions over Israel's ongoing military operations in Rafah, with the United States reportedly escalating its warning to Israel regarding its action in the region. The Camp David Accords, signed on September 17, 1978, marked a significant milestone in relations between Israel and Egypt, culminating in the first ever peace treaty between Israel and an Arab nation. The accords, brokered by the United States, have long been considered as a cornerstone of stability in the region. Nepal's legendary mountaineer Kami Rita Sharpa made a history this week by breaking his own record for highest number of ascents of Mount Everest as he scaled the world's highest peak for the 29th time. According to Rakesh Gurung, director at the Tourism Department in Nepalese Ministry of Tourism and Civil Aviation, the 54-year-old veteran climber reached the 8,849-meter peak at 7:25 a.m. local time. The expedition was organized by the 7 Summit Trek and had 20 climbers. They scaled Everest this morning, said Thani Guragain, a senior staff at 7 Summit Trek. India signs 10-year Chabahar Port Pact with Iran, calls it historic. India on Monday signed a long-term bilateral contract to develop and operate the Shahid Behzati Port Terminal in Chabahar in Iran for 10 years. The deal marks a historic moment in India-Iran ties and regional connectivity. Union Minister of Ports Sarbananda Sonowal said, "The agreement will give a significant boost to economic activities and establish India's growing role in developing global trade," he added. This milestone agreement marks a deepening of ties between the two nations and aims to transform Chabahar Port into a crucial transit hub for trade with Afghanistan and Central Asian countries. The centre has extended the ban on Liberation Tigers of Tamil Eelam (LTTE) for further 5 years. The Ministry of Home Affairs, in its notification, said the central government has taken the decision in view of the activities of the LTTE that continue to pose threat to the sovereignty and territorial integrity of India. The ministry cited the disruptive separatist and secessionist activities of LTTE that are a grave threat to the security of Indian nationals as a reason for ban. The government had declared the LTTE as an unlawful association in May 2019 and banned it for 5 years. India and Russia held bilateral consultations on Afghanistan this week in New Delhi. According to External Affairs Ministry, Russian Special President Envoy for Afghanistan Zamir Kabulov and Joint Secretary Pakistan, Afghanistan and Iran Division in the Ministry of External Affairs JP Singh discussed the current situation in Afghanistan. They emphasized on the need to provide development assistance for the welfare of Afghan people. The second round of Foreign Office consultations (FOC) between India and Eritrea was held in New Delhi last week. The Indian delegation was led by Joint Secretary of West Asia and North African Division Mr. Suresh Kumar. Director General in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Eritrea Ibrahim Osman Mohammed led the Eritrean delegation. The first round of political consultations were held in October 2018 in Asmara, Eritrea. Both sides discussed existing cooperation in the field of agriculture and food processing, health, pharmaceuticals, renewable energy, mining, trade and investment, and ways to further broaden and deepen their cooperation. Indian Air Force has tested Bhishma Cube, a state-of-the-art indigenous mobile hospital for airdrop in Agra. Union Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia said, "This innovative technology is a great leap forward in providing rapid and comprehensive medical aid during emergencies anywhere." This cube is a part of the border initiative program called Bhishma, Bharat Health Initiative for Sahyog, Hita, and Maitri, is tailored to treat up to 200 casualties. These cubes are robust, waterproof, and light, designed for various configurations, making them ideal for diverse emergency situations. Neeraj Chopra wins gold in Federation Cup after winning by a margin of 0.21 meters. Olympic and world champion javelin thrower Neeraj Chopra on Wednesday bagged gold medal in Federation Cup. He posted a best throw of 82.27 meters and won by a margin of 0.21 meters. DP Manu came second with a best throw of 82.06 meters, while Uttam Patil came third with a best throw of 78.39 meters. Ukraine has withdrawn its troops from multiple villages in border areas of Kharkiv following continued pressure from Russian forces. On the other hand, Russia has claimed that its forces have gained control over two additional settlements in the region, namely Lukyansky and Hlyblok, along with the villages of Robotine in the southern Zaporizhzhia region. United States Secretary of State Antony Blinken declared an extra $2 billion in military assistance to support the Ukrainian war effort. It comes weeks after the US Congress passed a $61 billion aid package last month. Sri Lanka is in discussion with India to establish an arms manufacturing unit in the island nation. Sri Lanka's Defence Secretary Minister Premita Bandara Tenakun has said that Sri Lankan military is already in arms manufacturing, but the scale is not what is expected it to be. While speaking to media persons last week, the minister noted that the Indian defense manufacturing arm has boomed during last 2 decades and added that the island nation can take a lot from Indian model. The minister mentioned that discussions are going at the moment with India to set up a small arms manufacturing unit. A high-level Indian delegation concluded its first rounds of talks with UAE officials on developing the ambitious India-Middle East European Economic Corridor (IMEEC), just 3 months after the two nations inked a framework agreement for the project. From 15th to 17th May, they engaged in detailed discussions with authorities at Khalifa Port, Fujairah Port and Jebel Ali Port on facilitating goods movement along the envisioned economic corridor linking India with markets in the Middle East and Europe. The swift scheduling of these follow-up meetings after February signing of the bilateral framework agreement underscores the high priority attached to the corridor by New Delhi and Abu Dhabi. The pact inked during Prime Minister Narendra Modi's UAE visit this February enables joint investment and technical collaboration for developing the corridor aimed at generating logistical efficiencies and cost reductions. And now for the segment where we see the events that unfolded itself this week back in history. 12th May 1926, first flight over the North Pole. Abroad, the semi-rigid ship Nog, Norwegian explorer Roald Amundsen, American scientist Lincoln Ellsworth, and Italian engineer Umberto Nobile made the first undisputed flight over the North Pole on this day in 1926. "13th May 1846, US Declaration of War on Mexico approved. Tensions between Mexico and the United States stemming from this day of US annexation of Texas in 1845 led the US Congress on this day in 1846 to approve overwhelmingly a declaration of war against Mexico. 14th May 1948, declaration of Israeli statehood. On this day in 1948, just before the expiry of the British mandate in Palestine, David Ben-Gurion and the Jewish People's Council proclaimed the establishment of the State of Israel, precipitating the First Arab-Israel War. 15 May 1991, Edith Cresson appointed French Premier. On this day in 1991, Edith Cresson of the Socialist Party became the first female Premier of France, but she lost the office less than a year later because of rising unemployment and declining support from within her party. 16th May 1943, Warsaw Ghetto Uprising suppressed. On this day in 1943, Nazi troops quelled the month-long Warsaw Ghetto Uprising, in which Polish Jews led by Mordecai Anielewicz and the Jewish Fighting Organization resisted deportation of the Treblinka extermination camp. 17th May 1954, School segregation outlawed by US Supreme Court. On this day in 1945, lawyer Thurgood Marshall scored a landmark victory as the US Supreme Court unanimously ruled in Brown v. Board of Education of Topeka that racial segregation in public school was unconstitutional. 18th May 1980, eruption of Mount St. Helens. On this day in 1980, following an earthquake with a magnitude of 5.1 on the Richter scale, Mount St. Helens in Washington state erupted in one of the greatest volcanic explosions ever recorded in North America.
Well, that's all friends for this week's updates. See you soon next Sunday on the same channel. Till then, take care. Bye bye.